at it again, and we got to talk about Nikki Haley today. You know, the darling of the establishment. Um, we're going to talk about that too. I've got several clips, probably about 4 different clips that I'm going to be showing you guys today. So stick around. Got a lot to get into. Like, share, comment, and hit that subscribe button if you are new. And I've got one clip that I'm going to show you before we hop into the meat and potatoes, but I think you're going to like this clip too. Now let's dive in.
I would not run if President Trump ran. I'm Nikki Haley, and I'm running for president. I will not now, not ever, support raising the gas tax. Let's increase the gas tax by 10 cents over the next 3 years. A huge issue that I'll deal with as soon as I get there is social media. They need to verify every single person on their outlet and I want it by name. I never said government should go and require anyone's name. That's false. I think China's been a really great friend of ours. Yes, I view China as an enemy. That was not what I intended to say. I do not think we need to pull money from the UN. The UN, the only thing is we would defund the UN as much as possible.
When a 12-year-old child in this country assigned female at birth says, actually, I feel more comfortable living as a boy, what should the law allow the response to be?
Well, I think the law should stay out of it, and I think parents should handle it. I think there should be federal involvement. You should not have any gender-altering anything done to a child before the age of 18.
So, yeah, I just wanted to show y'all that clip, you know, get your thoughts, your opinions on it. Let me know in the comment section. Comment down below your thoughts, your opinions on that little short clip right there. All right. Goodness gracious, man. Goodness gracious. Wow. But Nikki Haley recently made some comments that actually went viral. Absolutely viral. You know, as I was scrolling through doing my daily due diligence on, you know, seeing what the news is, right? The true news. I saw Nikki Haley had gone viral. Like, she was trending, literally trending on X. It was, you know, Nikki Haley, the name Nikki Haley was trending. So I'm like, oh, what's going on? Then I looked. I was like, oh, this is interesting. So I'm going to show you here in a second why she was trending. Check it out.
Front. Nikki Haley is in New Hampshire tonight making her case to voters. She's been doing this repeatedly. She was asked tonight, just a few moments ago, by a voter about what was the cause of the Civil War. This is how she responded.
What was the cause of the United States Civil War?
Well, don't come with an easy question or anything. I mean, I think the cause of the Civil War was basically how government was going to run, the freedoms and what people could and couldn't do. What do you think the cause of the Civil War was? I'm sorry?
I'm not running for president. I want to see your view on the cause of the Civil War.
I mean, I think it always comes down to the role of government.
Without mentioning the word slavery.
What do you want me to say about slavery?
No, you've answered my question. Thank you.
Next question.
Now, it's not your average town hall question, but she did seem surprised by it, and the voter, as you could hear there, called her out for not mentioning slavery. What do you make of that answer?
Yeah, if I were her, that would have been pretty easy to just say that and move on. But it's also, I think, pretty clear that that voter was kind of trying to catch her and saying something that would potentially make her less appealing to those independent voters in New Hampshire that she's going to rely on so heavily. So this was an easy question to answer. I wish she had answered it using the easy word, say slavery. There's a disagreement in our country about it. But ultimately, I don't think it's actually going to hurt her standing one way or another with Republican primary voters at this point.
Front.
See how they worded that? You know how some people are going to take that? oh, well, Republicans are racist, so that's why, it's not going to matter why she, that the fact that she said that. Like, my thing is, and part of the reason why I showed you guys that first clip of her, oh yeah, if Donald Trump runs, I'm not going to run. I, Nikki Haley, am running for president. Part of the reason why I showed y'all that is because she's a flip-flopper. And part of the Nikki Haley thing, I personally think, is she'll make her own statement or opinion about something, but then she'll go back and talk to her big boss donors and get their opinion, and then she'll switch her stance, right? I think she hadn't talked to her big boss donors about a question like that, so she kind of danced around it. Like, why can't you just say slavery? Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Obviously there was more to it than just that, but that was a major factor in what happened during the Civil War. It was slavery. Like, we all know that. That's not controversial. But now you have CNN pushing it as if Republicans are this racist group because Nikki Haley couldn't just answer a simple question. So not only is she absolutely terrible, but now she's trying to sink Republicans because now she's given, CNN and MSDNC fuel to say, oh, well, Republicans are racist. So, it's not surprising that she would say something like that. Goodness gracious. As if we don't have enough to contend with at this point. Now you got Nikki Haley trying to sink Republicans. Absolutely disgusting. Absolutely. It's a simple question. And she just tap danced like none other around it. Oh, man. Wow. But Vivek Ramaswamy actually said something recently that I find really on point. Check it out.
It's good to see you guys.
What did you mean on social media when you said that they're not going to, they're going to take Biden out and it's not going to be Newsom?
This is a longer story. It takes a dark turn, but I think I have a good sense of what's going to happen here.
Okay.
They're leading into a trap. They're not going to let Trump get anywhere near the White House. They're not going to let him.
What about?
So the goal is, have him be the nominee, and by hell or high water, one way or another, they're not going to have him. They're not going to let him.
What about the other two, though?
It's not them.
Who is it?
It's within our own party.
Okay. It's within our own party?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Hey, look at the people who voted to keep Trump off the ballot. Who are they putting up? Who are lawsuits to keep him off the ballot? Larry Fink to Reid Hoffman. Who are they propping up? So it's a game. And I'm in this to make sure that doesn't happen. But they want it to be a two-horse race, eliminate him, put up actually the Trojan horse within the Republican Party that keeps the war machine humming and keeps the restrictions on speech and the censorship agenda. Get it done. Who needs Democrats when you can get it done through the Republican Party?
Okay.
So you do the math.
Okay.
You do the math on that. That's what's coming.
Hey, thanks again for taking my...
The war machine humming, eliminate him, put up actually the Trojan horse within the Republican Party that keeps the war machine humming and keeps the restrictions on speech and the censorship agenda. Get it done. Who needs Democrats when you can get it done through the Republican Party?
Okay.
So you do the math.
Okay.
You do the math on that. That's what's coming.
Hey, thanks again for taking
Think
my
about it.
question.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it.
I appreciate you.
And I
Thank you.
appreciate your candor.
Thank you. Yeah, we're not going to touch.
Mm-hmm. Do y'all think Vivek is on to something there? Do you think he's on to something? I do. And I've said this before. They are going to fight like crazy to make sure that Trump doesn't take office. I'm prepared for that. I'm not afraid of it. I've said it time and time again. Like, it's obvious. There's certain things in life that I feel like are common sense. And them fighting like hell to make sure that Donald Trump doesn't get back in office, that's one of those things that I would consider common sense. I've said this in, I don't know how, countless videos. They aren't going to let him walk in. It's going to be hectic. Something crazy is going to happen, or crazy things will happen, right? I expect it. But at the end of the day, I do feel as if he's going to step in office, whether they like it or not. It ain't going to be easy. There's probably going to come a moment where there's going to be extreme doubt for whatever reason, right? Who knows what that is. but I do believe he will take office. I believe that. I do believe that. One of the reasons why is because of how many people have rallied behind him. I've watched the polls go up, and as I've stated before, the polls rising isn't MAGA. That's not MAGA. MAGA's always been there. That's been his floor, which is why he hasn't dropped below a certain level of support, in my humble opinion. The rise in the polls is everybody else jumping on the bandwagon. And so when you have a phenomenon like that happening, when you have someone who you tried to bury and they only got stronger, who you tried to beat up and break down and they only got stronger, they only came back with, I don't know, more strength, right? You've got a real problem on your hands. And I don't think they were quite prepared to contend with that. I still don't think they are, because what do you do in that type of situation? It's almost it's almost a catch-22. You lose and you lose. If you try something drastic, you're still gonna lose because it's gonna be way too obvious. If you do nothing, you're cooked. I personally think people are gonna start leaving this country, and there's been reported stories of the last one I saw was Nancy Pelosi, and it was a picture of Nancy Pelosi and Hillary, who allegedly, right, gotta say that, allegedly have said that they will leave the country if Donald Trump takes office. And I was saying this before all of these, celebrities, oh yeah, I'm gonna leave the country if Donald Trump takes office in 2024. I saw that as their route out. And now that I'm seeing more and more of these stories coming out of people allegedly saying that they're going to leave the country, I'm like, oh, I think I was right. Not to brag or boast, but I think it's obvious. I feel like that one is common sense as well, because once again, you try something drastic, going to be way too obvious. You do nothing, you're cooked because you're going to prison for a very, very long time. If not for the rest of your lifetime. So the only obvious answer is to leave. You've got connections, you've got the money, and maybe I actually just thought of something. Something just occurred to me. So you guys know how allegedly, I have to say allegedly, some of this money that's been going overseas to fund this conflict that is going on has been circling back to some of these politicians. Allegedly, there's been reports. No one's actually confirmed it, right? Allegedly. It's just a story, okay? Don't hit me with no misinformation, tube, okay? Allegedly. I don't have any hard evidence to prove this. But there's been some, whispers about that happening. Maybe that's so they have the funds to just go disappear. I don't know. I'm not saying anything. I don't have any hard evidence to back that up. That's just me thinking out loud, okay? So, you can't hit me with no misinformation. He's spreading misinformation. That's just me thinking out loud, okay? I admit I don't have any hard evidence to back that up. That's just me thinking out loud, okay? But what do y'all think? Let me know in the comment section. Let me know. I just saw another clip of Nikki Haley. Look at this one.
He still has a lot of popularity. If he runs again in 2024, will you support him?
Yes.
If he decides that he's going to run, would that preclude any sort of run that you would possibly make yourself?
I would not run if President Trump ran.
He still has.
So that is who the establishment is allegedly propping up and who they say is rising in the polls. She's competing with Donald Trump. She's gaining on Trump. That's who? Y'all let me know. Would y'all ever support Nikki Haley in any way, shape, or form? I have a feeling I know what the answer to that is, but I gotta ask. I have to ask, because allegedly what they're telling us is Nikki Haley is the darling of the Republican Party and she's rising in the polls. I'm calling BS. I haven't seen it, but I have seen a lot of these crazy clips of Nikki Haley being what looks to me like a puppet to her puppet masters who are pulling her strings. But that's just me. Y'all let me know what y'all think about it in the comment section. Maybe I'll make a poll on X or something. Or a poll here. Can I make polls still on YouTube? I mean, maybe I'll make a poll in several different places, all right? Follow me on everything. X, and Instagram as well. I may make a poll on X and on right here on YouTube if I can. So make sure you guys are looking out for that. A poll on Nikki Haley's support. Because I'm just curious to know if these alleged polls that are showing Nikki Haley gaining on Trump are real, or are they trying to fabricate something in order to get us to believe a certain narrative. And I know you guys are some people are gonna say, well, Rich, you believe the polls where Trump is up. Well, you believe those polls and you don't question those. Well, because I have evidence to back those up, by looking at social media, asking you guys, who you support, who you don't support, why not. And, the support for Trump has increased. I've seen more videos and more comments saying, hey, I support Trump. I haven't seen that for Nikki Haley, but she's rising in the polls all of a sudden. I think Vivek might have been onto something. Peace and love. I'm out.